So let's get straight to the work. It's finally time to work a bit on further network. So I did place a bigger road to ease the future traffic. I initially went with industrial road to give it more used up look, especially that this road is going to lead to industrial zone in the future. But then I decided to stick with plain vanilla road for now. Maybe I will change it in the future, but we'll see about that. And I've also started working on inner roads. And now it's actually time to work on bigger parking that is supposed to provide place to park. Oh shit, airlock. For future cemetery visitors. Cemetery is something that we are gonna focus on today, as you can tell from the thumbnail and the title of this video. So it will serve as a parking not only for cemetery visitors, but also for future residents living close by. I'm going to fill the surrounded space with housing. So here's a super sped up section of me trying to do the roundabout, which was supposed to be turnaround place for the visitors, but spoiler alert, I ditched the idea, just leaving it in case that's the design you would like to go for, a little bit of inspiration. It's not that bad, but in the end I had different idea. Now it was time to create a bus lane for a future bus stop. I had trouble with placing it nicely, but somehow it worked. Deleted some greenery around to make it more neat, and also I adjusted the node with node controller. It worries me a little bit that these roads are crossing so close to each other. We had like, I don't know, 4 intersections over here, but I think that once the traffic starts to look messy and problematic, we can play around with Traffic Manager and fix it. I think I play around with it. I'm not sure whether I caught it on the camera, but for sure we will need to adjust the lane switching somehow so they won't all crash into each other, because it's going to be mess. But we will see. I don't expect that much of a traffic in that area. And of course, we are going to do a little bit of decor, and we are off to go. After a little landscaping, I placed the parking on the other side of the road, and let me tell you that what's supposed to be the side entry ended up being the main entry to the cemetery, which kind of makes more sense because the road where we just built the parking is going to collect the visitors from like side roads near to lake, the visitors, the not really visitors, but the how to say that, citizens that are going to live close by. And as you see, I finally ditched the roundabout idea. It's about the time I decided to do the road along the lake to place few random houses. And because it looked a little bit empty, and I felt like this place had a bit of potential to place at least few random houses, a little bit more messy, a little bit more low income, I would say. The worst part was to connect it to the rest of neighborhood, and since this road is intended to mostly serve few people living there, I thought connected it to the olive gardens we built in the previous episode. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet, it makes more sense, like I said. And I thought connecting it to the olive garden was sufficient and enough. And this way I could also get away with using more natural dirt, like mud kind of road, not really normal, I don't know, asphalt road. It was a bit challenging to connect it. Network multi-tool did not help, but eventually I managed to do that. And I used building control to help me to blend some of the buildings to the terrain. I wasn't sure about that because on the other hand they look kind of weird, like going into the mountain side. Mountain is too big of a word, but you know, that's the slope, the hillside. But on the other side, if I place them to the ground, it looks really off, like it flattens the ground. So I've decided to do it that way, and of course I left Decor for later. I did not have patience to do that right now. Yeah, that's all. And now it's time to work on actual cemetery. I don't want to overuse the word custom, but I definitely wanted it to be more of just a plain small building, but rather this big custom, yeah, I'm using this word, this big graveyard which will serve citizens for a pretty long time. I definitely did not want to go for a grid, because it just doesn't fit that area. In contrary, I wanted to get use of these beautiful hills. I've looked for inspiration. I've seen beautiful Latin, especially Mexican cemeteries, graveyards that look like this. They are also very pastel-y, very nice, but eventually I ditched the pastel idea. But still, I think you will be happy about the result, and it can serve as an inspo to do similar project on your map and ditch the idea of just simple vanilla, or even not vanilla, but crematorium, something like this. So we also got few functional buildings, so the hearses will actually spawn, which is cool because I've seen few people dying already. Yes, our lovely citizens, I feel like they just moved in, but yeah, it's time to go on the other side of the world for them, so we needed definitely something functional. And then came the fencing, which I wanted to be a little bit more messy, more abandoned, sort of, these stone walls that are falling apart, giving it a really old look and not this neat, well-managed sort of American, or at least my vision of American cemetery, which is more of well-managed. I've noticed that the city finances does not look good. We don't lose money, but definitely waste more than we earn. So I played a bit with the budget, lowered the budget for parks and roads, as these are luxuries for the richer times for the future. I also quickly browse through policies, but I also think at this level of development we can only use a few, especially the ones rising taxes, which I quickly found out wasn't a perfect solution, and citizens started to complain almost immediately. So they gonna know, right? How would they know? I think so far I really focus on building, but as we grow, we will have to implement more of a management too, especially when I'm going to add the public transport. There's always a lot of management to make it efficient. It was pretty difficult to choose right church, as I had a lot of very cool assets to use, and I tried few, but I went with this one, the one that you can see, because not only colors are beautiful, they're going to contrast nicely with the graves we are about to place, but also they have this pastel look that I've told you about before. So it's a nice accent. It's also not too little, not too big. It definitely stands out on the top of the mountain, on the hill. But it's also like not overwhelming on too little that it's not noticeable at all. It also, I think, serves as a landmark. So that's a bonus point because we don't have any monuments / unique buildings on this map yet, I think. I also put the body management facility. Yes, I think that's how it was called. It's also the BTB collection. It's really nice because it has multiple useful assets. I've placed the body management facility or something like this on the other side, close to the parking, so it would, in my mind, serve as more like a maintenance facility for graveyard workers rather than this nice main entry. So the same for the parking. I think they can use that. So hills and terrain is problem all the time on this map, constant challenge. So evening everything out was not an option, so I just brushed it a little, and finally it was time to add path. It's a custom one. When I bended it too much, you could see it appears as dirt, but I didn't mind this sort of look. The mix of dirt, the mix of nice pavement, definitely I think works there, so I did not put that much of an attention into like cleaning it. At first I used those sets of grapes, which looked a little bit artificial. I think some sort of brush tool would be better for what I wanted to do, but I did not have a mod tool like this, I think, on hand, so I did a little mix of random small singular waves on the side and just copied it using Move It in order to achieve this less repetitive look, I think. But it's still a little bit of repetitive. So maybe I could put more work into that. So did some final touches to the path, some adjustment to make it look more natural, especially that up close I could see all the weird angles, and I did not have an idea what to do about the church, so I just changed the road and decorated, but it wasn't anything crazy, keeping it nice and simple. And every now and then I added mud or dirt decal, so it would look as people would actually use this ground to walk on. This will also serve as a roadmap where to place graves, and this is a mess now, especially the next part, but trust the process. It was intimidating to me at first, but with every minute, I think it looked better and better. In order to encourage people to actually walk around, I chose to make park out of it. Placed few gates around, hoping to get at least some money out of it, but I quickly realized that nobody visits it, so for now, so great. Probably would have to work on attractivity matter, but how to make freaking graveyard attractive? I don't know. I've placed some random benches, but I think they need actually, I don't know, playground in the middle or something like this to visit it. We'll see about that. Or maybe something is broken, glitch, or I don't know. So back to housing. As our housing demand is crazy right now. I put a minimal effort into decorating the houses along the lake. If you see some details like road, for example, changing from time to time, it's just me trying to figure it out off camera. And I actually put few rocks and plants along the coast, so I think that's the nice touch to the area. I like the look and definitely will add more of this sort of decor as we inhabit the lake coast, so yeah, the whole lake will end up decorated. I think the Target had a nice video on that like very long ago. As we don't have any shops here, I added a small commercial spot for nearby inhabitants and cemetery visitors. And as we head to the end, this is actually more of a preview part as I started to add more and more housing. In contrary to previous neighborhood, let's call it starting village, I don't know. I'm starting to go for a more organized look and make the houses look as they were more taken care of. Like it actually looks like very nice neighborhood, a little bit more dense also when it comes to the amount of people living here, and also because of that I use some hedges and pastel colors to make it. Really want to release this episode before holidays, so consider it as a preview again for what's to come in the future. I'll be working on this residential expansion. I think of cameras, so I guess it's pretty repetitive and you don't need to see every fence, every house placed, unless you want videos like this, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. And there's an area which I guess map creator designated for fields, but as I am forever incapable of making the fields look nice in this game, and I would love that we have the tool for making the custom shapes of field as we have in City Skylines 2. But for now, there will be a housing. Let's just keep it that way. So I did not record much, but here you can see how many of the houses I added, hoping we won't get a death wave initially, hoping we won't get a death wave later, but even so, it's not like they need to go far, right? Like, yeah, death wave, we have solution for that. The whole episode is about solution for that. I also have a cool idea, something to do with the highway, but that's all I want to tell you, and hopefully you will check out the next episode to find out what it's going to be. So yeah, enjoy the final cinematic shots as always. I hope for a bit of your support, like or comment or whatever is welcome. So take care, and if you are celebrating, then happy holidays and bye.